The Mahoning River has been part of our history since day one. John Young arrived here by way of the river to land that would eventually bear his name. The Mahoning begins in Columbiana County and heads north through Berlin Lake, Lake Milton, into Newton Falls. At Warren, the Mahoning bends south through Niles, Youngstown, Campbell, and Lowville before heading into Pennsylvania. This evening, though, 33 News will focus on the stretch from Warren to Lowville, where the steel mills once stood, a section of water that made the Mahoning River more infamous than famous. Youngstown of the mid-1940s was the poster child for industrial pollution. The steel mills fouled the air and dumped their waste directly into the Mahoning River.
Well, it was an open sewer.
The late Kenneth Lloyd was the area's foremost expert on the Mahoning River's industrial use. In 1982, I did a series of special reports on the river and interviewed him. How dirty was the Mahoning at its worst? A 1952 study by the U.S. Geological Survey called the Mahoning among the worst polluted streams in the United States, with water temperatures as great as 120 degrees. By the mid-60s, America wanted environmental change. And the new regulator wanted river conditions good enough that people could swim and freshwater fish could breed.
In my experience and during the years I've been here, it has never been used for fishing or recreation.
Is that good or bad?
It provided employment for the people, and I would assume that that would be good.
I would say it's probably the dirtiest river we have.
Eventually, the Ohio EPA took over responsibility of the Mahoning River. I interviewed EPA regulators in 1982 as well.
We had values in excess of our limits for phenols and cyanide every time I would sample.
A lot of the fish that we found even in these refuge areas were deformed. They had eroded fins, they had lesions.
Then came Black Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the news we've received this morning from Youngstown Sheet and Tube is just the worst possible news that we as your elected public officials could have received.
During those 1982 reports, I also canoed at the Mahoning River, the section between the Lake Milton Dam and Newton Falls, because the industrial stretch was not navigable. But it is now. With the steel mills long gone, you can kayak from Youngstown to Lowville. Tonight at 11, join me for a trip along what once was among the worst polluted streams in the United States. Well, Black Monday was in 1977, so I interviewed those EPA investigators just 5 years later. And even at that time, they could notice the Mahoning River was cleaner. Join me at 11. You'll be surprised what it looks like now.